I do know there are so many more financial instruments that can make you so much more money. I get that. I totally understand. But this house is my
Do you
emotional
understand
support house.
after the video went viral and then the comment section was like all over the place, or do you cognitively
I
already?
already knew I invest since I was 19, so I know. So after getting the players, the first thought is relief. Oh my god, I finally did it. Happiness didn't even kick in. It's just like, oh my god, I did it. Like, it's a goal that I hit. So the happiness set in when my parents viewed that place. That is when I felt that happiness. It was when she said the phrase, "I'm proud of you." I don't think I heard that in a very long time, or even at all. I don't remember. But I didn't realize how much I needed my parents' approval.
That is so powerful. Yeah, I get it.
Thanks for being my
Yeah,
therapist.
no, that's what everyone says. Welcome back to Chills with TFC. I'm your host, Reggie, aka your Chief Financial Coconut. And today we are in studio with an interesting person, right? She went viral for a hot topic. I think a lot of people have aims and dreams of this topic. And she was all over the internet because she's this crazy Gen Z girl. Maybe not Gen Z.
Zillennial.
Okay, you haven't come out yet. You haven't yet. That bought a condo and rant about it on socials, and everyone was reposting her story. And we thought like, hey, there's more to this, right? We need to bring her into studio to understand why she did what she did, all the ins and outs, what she's learned, and all the sacrifices and the strategies around this thing. So very happy to be in studio with Chris. Yes.
Hey, thank you for having
Yeah,
me.
for our audience that don't know you want to introduce yourself. Somehow they don't know you lah, right? You want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Chross. I'm 27 this year, but I got my almost 1 mil condo when I was 26.
Okay. So that's your whole backstory.
I mean, that's the most concise version.
So we are here to expound on the story and understand what happened, right? So tell me a little bit more, right? Like after you post the video and that whole experience so far, right? Like what made you get the condo? Why you even post stories? And then like what happened after that?
Oh, so honestly, I posted it for my friends / acquaintances to know because I work in media, right? So it's a bit weird to broadcast it to everybody. And at that point of time, I've made a couple of videos like for content for funsies, like trying to expand what I do. Because I feel like in media, it's no longer enough to just be behind the camera. You need to be in front of it sometimes in order to make your brand be known, right? So I was on that route anyway. So I just shared my story, and then people was interested and be like, whoa, like what happened? This is not real. So they were saying, oh, it's not real. And I'm like, well, I filmed my parents' reaction. It's real. So then I was in Hong Kong with no bad connection to TikTok because I bought the wrong SIM card. And I was like trying to edit my video of my reaction because I want to edit my family's face out. So over there, I'm trying to connect to TikTok while I was in Hong Kong because people are like, it's not real. And I'm like, it's real. Then I posted it, and then that video is the one that got traction.
Of course, the whole internet caught it. Yeah. How has life changed after that video?
It hasn't.
Yeah. It hasn't. Okay.
It hasn't.
She's paying the mortgage lah. It will not change.
It hasn't
It will
changed.
stay on it for a while.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing is just that I have a huge family, so now they know more about me than normal. So that's interesting as well.
Okay. So tell me more. Like, how did you end up in this, like, getting a condo, and where did you, like which area, just for some context for our
Let me
audience.
tell you why
Yes,
it's a
yes.
condo and not HDB.
Okay.
Because I'm single.
That's the main thing, right?
real
That's the main thing, right? Yes.
Yeah,
I get it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You get it.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've been wanting to own my own home or house since I was 8 years old.
Why?
Okay, my parents has always instilled hyper independence in me.
At 8 years old.
No, since I was a kid. As long as I can remember. I mean, obviously they take good care of me and they provide me food and they're not abusing me or anything. They take really good care of me, but they also made sure to, instill that sense of discipline and independence in me. So for example, for school, in secondary school, a lot of parents will be like, you have to study and whatever. My mom is like, your education, your responsibility, good luck. So that was my vibe since growing up. My mom is a military mom. So that might give you a bit more context, maybe. So I grew up like that. So since young, a house is really much in a goal that I want to achieve. It symbolizes safety for me. So okay, I need to be very clear. I do know that there are so many more financial instruments that can make you so much more money. I get that. I totally understand. But this house is my
Do you
emotional
understand
support house.
after the video went
No,
viral and then the comment
no.
section was like all over the place, or do you
No, no.
cognitively
I
already?
already knew I invest since I was 19. So I know. It's more like this is my emotional support home. Because I think it's nice that I have a place to fall back on if anything goes. Yeah, it's my safety net.
Okay, fair. So okay, but maybe provide us some context, right? Like how much is this property, and like how many rooms, and got what facilities, just to give our audience some
Yes.
idea, right? If this is your financial safety house, right? Like what is it? Yeah, some correct.
Emotional
Yeah,
safety.
emotional safety. Walao eh, Gen Z. Okay. Emotional safety house. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
learning.
Let's go.
Yes, yeah, let's go. But yeah, give
Yeah.
us a bit more like color into like this space.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that
So it's
you
like a
got.
2-bedder
Okay, two
condo.
better.
Yeah, 1 bathroom because girly cannot afford anything more.
How big?
It is 500
Yeah,
and
600 right, square feet,
500
about
plus square
500
feet.
plus
Yeah,
square
not
feet.
the
Okay.
most big, but it's okay lah.
Okay, that's why only
It's a
one.
it's a
That's why
2-bedder though.
yeah, two better, one toilet because
To
500.
be precise, I ended up buying it for 950K. So it was like a good deal because they nego price. Do I need to say that on camera? But they nego down the price. So it was 950.
It's a resale, is it?
Yes, resale. So it's not a brand new.
Why? Why do you get a resale?
Part of it is greed and speed. Because I want to own a house by I'm 27. So I want it now. And if it's like a brand new, then I have to wait. Okay, but more into that, I did do a thorough analysis on my own financial situation. And for me, it's a bit easier to fork out the initial deposit and then do like a monthly installment rather than having to block out chunks of money at a time. And also, you can't get 950K two
Two better,
bedder in
500
brand new.
square.
I
Okay.
mean, the max you can do is like Cassia, but I have my thoughts about Cassia.
No lah, 952 better, 500 square feet. I got nowhere already.
Hey! No.
Yeah, no. We're not going there. No, but actually, I think you brought up many things. I want to talk about many things, right? So maybe before we talk about the whole the whole like what does a condo mean to you, or what does a home mean to you? Because I think there's a lot. It's very loaded there, right? So before we go there, I think let's give our audience a bit more of the technical education
Okay.
around about getting a condo and all that, right? So you said that greed and urgency aside, yeah,
I was just joking
950,000.
lah.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm just joking lah.
Okay. So 950,000, you choose to buy a resale condominium, of the specs that was said, right? As compared to a new launch, how is it different from your experience? Like the different options available.
I would say there's no wrong option. It's just that for me, I want that choice. So in my head, 2-bedder gives me a bit more flexibility in my exit strategy. It's more people that might be interested in a 2-bedder as opposed to studio. And you can notice, right, in the new launches, studio is going out of fashion. Remember when I was secondary school, I used to like read the, last time they call it what, catalog, the what like all the
Classified.
classified.
You read classified for condos?
Last time
Okay.
when back in my days when I was a child.
Yes. You can fit the dinosaur TikTok trend. Yes.
Gosh, no.
Yeah.
The 1990 then.
1990 something. Okay. No, but I want to understand. Yeah. So that whole like buying a resale versus getting a new launch, because you said about like paying in chunks and that whole that because when you buy a new condo, there is different times of the development, so you kind of pay in different tranches, right? So
And also
like
the space. Yeah, you can't get as big for this amount of money that I have. So I worked backwards. I looked at my budget first and then look at what kind of specs I want and what I can accept. So obviously I cannot buy a brand new 2-bedder condo for like 950K, but I can go the resale route, right? And for me, the exit strategy is also important. So I just feel like it's a little bit easier to pawn off a 2-bedder than a 1-room.
Okay, fair. So you even considered your exit strategy already when you
Yeah.
bought it.
Because I'm hopefully still young. That cute dinosaur sounds.
Okay.
Yeah. So I look at my horizon. I just feel like this will not be the last property I buy. So I do need to plan a bit further.
Okay, fair. Yeah. So maybe a little bit more color on the actual purchase, right? So like how because the minimum is 25%, right? The
Yes.
deposit, right? So like was it
Yes.
a stretch? Like do you stretch to 25% or you actually go
More than
more
like
than that?
30%.
Okay, okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So 30%, that was really painful. I honestly wanted to borrow more as much as possible.
Wait, you couldn't borrow
I
more?
couldn't borrow
Because income,
more.
is it?
Yeah, I'm a freelance. Like my bulk of my income is
Okay, this is a story.
freelancing.
Yes, yes, this is a story. Tell me more, tell me more.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So the first thing you need to know is that I started seriously hunting for a flat since I was 23. But if you remember, the interest rate was really crazy just a few years ago. Right? It was like when I seriously inquired, it was what, 4%? Right? Something like that. Ah, you know better than me, lah.
I know, yes.
Yeah. So it was really crazy. So I'm like, wow, I really want it and I want it young, but this is not the right time to enter the market in my financial like situation. So there's some context. So when the interest rate finally like chill a little bit, I actually I made a mistake. Like there's a mistake here I made, which is that I went to ask a lot of banks. I didn't get a mortgage broker or anything. Or rather, I tried to get a mortgage broker, but then they said they cannot help me. So then I went the traditional route of asking each bank.
Why is that a mistake?
Because when you inquire with the bank, your credit score takes a hit. And when your credit score takes a hit, then you need to do things like show funds, pledging, which I had to do also. And on top of that, with the added layer of most of my income being freelance income, the bank deems that as unstable, right? And when it's unstable, they are number one, they won't lend you
You
as
take a haircut.
much. Yes, and also they might not lend you as much lah.
Okay, okay. Can you try to I think some of our audience probably know, but probably not as common a information, right? About the credit score part. Can you elaborate a little bit based on what you know? Yes.
Yes, I will because I've also actually asked a bunch of property agents. So I went through like 7 property agents before I. Oh my god, I really very auntie. I really
You very
cannot.
auntie. She started planning this thing since 20 years ago, people.
Yeah. So even some property agents that advised me on my journey didn't actually bring this up. And when I asked why I didn't
They
bring,
don't know.
they don't know, which is insane to me because you're in the property market. So how can you not know? But anyway, I guess it's not as common knowledge, and I wish somebody told me. Then I would have just asked maybe one or two. But when I went to ask, I asked the bank, right? So when you it's called what IPA, right? You make a formal inquiry about the actual amount you can loan because I need all these data to make my
Make a
decision.
decision on how much I can actually do. Yes.
Exactly. And then that will narrow down what I can buy. This is like when everything's up in the air. I don't know if I want a studio or two bedder. Everything's up in the air. So yeah, when you inquire of the bank, they inquire of the credit bureau, which then takes it as you are inquiring for credit or whatever, right? And please correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then your credit score takes a hit. So it gets lower and lower and lower. And when it's too low, you have to do this thing called either show fund or pledging. Show fund was ridiculous for my situation. You need to show like what? Can't remember. 600K to borrow 800K, that kind of vibe. I'm like, bro, if I have 600K, do you
Yeah,
think
yeah.
I'm coming to
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Why
you
would I
get.
borrow 800K only?
Yeah.
Yes, yes, okay.
So exactly. So I went to the pledging route. So yeah, let me see. So I went through the pledging route. So I had to pledge 50K with the bank. So I thought my credit score was improving. This was a huge journey for me. So I thought my credit score was improving. So the bank loan mortgage person was actually, likely you don't need to pledge lah. At the last minute, when I finally signed and like, okay, I want to buy this house, the seller is already willing to like sell me this house. The bank is like, oh, you need to pledge fund. And at that point of time, for house, I've only budgeted be like a 20 or 30K like buffer just in case anything goes wrong. Or I need to buy the future one. I buffered 20 to 30K, not enough. So in 10 weeks, I had to go and save and make 20K back. Oh, it was a huge
But
journey.
10 weeks, you can make 20, 30K.
I didn't spend a single cent.
Okay, okay. We will go into that.
Yes.
But it's interesting because you are like at the same time making mistakes along the way, but you are also making some pretty good by industry standards decisions, right? Like you are trying to evaluate whatever you can afford first. Of course, you've been house hunting for 20 years lah, so that's a
That's
different
not how it
that's
works. I'm not 28.
Okay, yes, that's a different story. But you've actually done that whole bit around like, okay, this is my budgets and I will explore all my mortgage options to see in totality how what kind of property can I actually get, right? Based on the kind of budgets and the income that I have.
Yes. So my mindset for anything in life is always gather all pieces of information, make an informed choice, and then stick by that
Pretty
decision.
cool. Pretty
So
cool.
that is no different from when I'm house hunting. That's how
Very
I work.
cool. Very cool.
Although
Yeah,
I knew
yeah.
in hindsight.
Yeah, now you know. The next one will know, right? So you are helping to bless the world. Okay, so maybe tell me a little bit before we talk about how you make 20K in 10 weeks.
Save and
Yeah, how
make
save and make 20K in 10 weeks.
yeah.
Before we go there, I do want to understand a little bit on that whole like haircut, in terms of like the mortgage, how much you can actually loan, because I don't think everybody knows that if you're not, fully employed in a like a 8 to 9 to 5 type of situation, then there's all sorts of other things that will affect your ultimately how much you can loan, right? So can you also elaborate a little bit on that
Need to
part?
caveat. I actually
Yes.
don't know much because I'm not in the banking industry. So
Okay.
everything I know is through what the
No,
banker
it's
told
okay.
me.
Yes, yes. The banks will have their own SOP
Yeah, and
when the people
different banks have different SOP.
exactly when the people interact with the different banks, there will be that whole bit. That you're not here to speak like
Yeah,
a
I
professional,
get that, but
Yes, you're not.
just people
Yeah.
need to know that different
Yes.
banks have their own way of doing things. So whatever I'm saying may just be representative
Yes,
of my
of the
own
banks that you ultimately
banks.
used, right?
Yes,
Yes, yes.
correct.
So how did they come to the mortgage that they're willing to give you?
I have no idea because they didn't tell me the behind the
Okay,
scenes.
okay,
I just
okay.
submitted the numbers and then they tell me what I can do and then I negotiated. So things that I managed to negotiate was like, for example, the refinancing after the first year for free, which I thought is pretty standard practice. So I don't know why they told me that I needed to pay for that. But anyway,
It's all part of marketing, ah.
I
Yeah,
think it's
yeah, yeah. It's all
marketing.
part of
But I
marketing.
kind of like negotiated that. I'm like, broskies, I ain't doing that. Like, give it to me for free. Um, and then I also negotiated things like I needed to pledge like 80K and I'm like, bro, it's 50K, okay? Please tell me 50K is okay. Yeah. And then I also tried to extend as much like borrowing percentage as I can go because 25% is like the
The
norm, if you will,
baseline.
the
Yes,
baseline.
yes.
I did 30% of my own,
Down payment. Yeah, yeah. Okay. And then the rest you took the loans, right?
yeah, the
Essentially.
70% loan.
Okay, okay, fair. So you said I think the lesson here is the banks are in the business. There are certain guiding principles, all that is correct, but everything is negotiable.
Everything is negotiable
Everything is negotiable.
except
Yeah, 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 yeah. Then what rates do you lock in at if you
I
don't
locked in
mind
at
saying?
2%, which I know is not the lowest because my friend got even lower. But for my situation, I'm okay lah.
You just sound very relieved that you finally
Yes,
got your
somebody
home.
accepted me.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay,
Yeah, it
okay.
is honestly very tough to find a bank that is willing to loan unstable financial case. So the only banks that were a bit more lenient were like, can I name banks? Like Maybank and like RHB Bank, like banks that I might not feel the most secure with, or in Singaporean eyes, not so standard
She say
lah.
one,
Not
not
I
I
say
say one.
one ah. Also not I say one ah.
She
I
say
say the standard
she
Singapore
say
sentiments, okay?
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, no, I get it. I get it. It's all maybe in finance there's also a lot of branding.
Yes, it's a lot of
Right? Like
branding.
the
It's a lot of branding.
association from young, they never give you the tiger, you get the squirrel, right? So
I
you're
don't know
more
what you're talking
associated with the
about.
squirrel, So anyway, yes, yes, yes. Okay, okay, fair. Great, thanks for sharing. I think there's a lot. There's a lot. Maybe we wrap up this part about the financing bit, right? If someone else wants to like do this again, like someone watch this and like, I'm gonna do this, right? I got 300,000 on cash with me. I'm gonna and maybe some CPF stuff. Right. Do you use any CPF?
A little
A
bit,
little bit,
but
right? So
just
because
for
freelancers
funsies.
don't get as much of that. Okay. So if let's say somebody watch your video and then watch this podcast, like, oh my god, she can do it. So can I. I'm gonna do it. Right? Like what would be your advice on this part on financing and mortgage? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, assuming that you already have that down payment in place, then that's like a huge piece of the puzzle completed. And then now it's just about finding the right bank for your financial situation. If you already have a 9 to 5, then honestly, you're really sad.
With a 9 to 5 is so much easier,
It's
right?
so much easier. And if you're not, learn from my mistake, use a mortgage broker or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Fair. Okay, fair, fair. Yeah. No sponsor plug, huh? I will send an invoice to the sponsor, Okay, great. So thanks for being candid there. I think there's a lot to learn, when it comes to getting your first home and the whole bit lah. So maybe the fun little side story about how you made that 20,000
Oh,
difference,
sure.
in that 10 week, tell us a little bit more, and I think that adds to the context of your income structure and how you
Yeah, I'm
how
so
you do
happy
this.
when you asked me this. You know why? Because I've been wanting to make my video series about all of these, but I just never had the time to
You
sit down
see,
and
don't need
do.
already. I will cut already. We'll tag you. Okay, collaborate,
Yay!
settle.
Let's
Yes, scout
go!
team.
Thank
Yes,
you.
yes, yes.
I thought to edit. It's
Yeah, of
bane
course
on
we
my
will. We'll do it. We'll
existence.
do. We'll do it. But yes, tell me about
Yes,
this.
I call
This
it my no spend 10 weeks, where I literally did not spend a single cent.
girl is really
Yeah,
from media lah. She
seriously.
makes her life a series. It's
No, but I have been doing
yeah,
this since I was
yeah.
a kid.
Okay,
Maybe because I
okay,
grew
yeah.
up on YouTube, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. No. But yeah. Okay, tell me your no spend 10
Yeah,
weeks.
professional auntie mode. Let me tell you, you know HPB app?
I don't want to talk to you. Yes, tell me,
You know
tell me.
HPB app? This one
Yeah.
got plug on the
What
HPB.
HPB app?
Okay, so there's a app called what 365, don't know what lah. Go and Google lah. Even my akong use it,
Yes,
okay?
yes,
So
three
there's no
six
reason why
five
you
something.
shouldn't.
Yes, yes.
So if you clock a certain number of steps, they give you like 10 points a day. So right, for 10 weeks, I exchanged the points for Simply Go credit. No cent spent on the transport.
But that cannot save you 20K in 10
But
weeks.
I didn't spend a single cent. So that's a huge part of the puzzle for me because I spend a lot every month. So okay, I have a whole spreadsheet and I log every single thing I spend. If I use a printer, just now I printed something for school, 5 cents. You best believe it's logged down into my
Shit, you're
yeah.
crazy.
No, but to me it's
No, I
fulfillment.
get it. I
Like
get
to
it.
me it's
Yeah, yeah,
fulfillment. I
yeah.
also am a production I do producing and I love tracking everything. So my entire life is just tracked for fun. It just brings me a lot of happiness lah.
Some sort of emotional stability around there also.
I
Lah.
think it's also like just habit. When I was in primary school, oh my god, I'm sidetracking so much. I'm so sorry. When I was in primary school, I planned my day down to the minutes, which is insane. Like at 5:01, I need to eat until 5:36. That was when I was in primary school. I think I have a problem.
You got no friends.
Yeah, I actually had no friends. I really had no friends.
Okay, I don't mean.
I want to make a report.
Okay, relax, relax. Yeah. No, but I think it's it shows right throughout that whole process of like being meticulous and getting your goal. So maybe in context of that no
No
spend
spend 10
10 weeks, tell us how do you actually make money? Because I think we didn't really talk about this in the front. Like, where's your income sources? How do you do this? Yeah.
That's great. I believe in diversifying my income source as much as I can because different industries might get disrupted differently. So I have like my investment, then my job one, then my job two, then my job three.
Okay, tell me all.
Yeah.
Yes.
So before I go into that, saving is a huge part because I spend 1,500 every month. That is like my expenditure every month, right? And if I can not spend 1,500, you take that for a few months, that is quite a lot. That makes up almost 10 math fail. You do the math for me.
Yeah. In a few months, yes.
Yeah. So it adds up. So if I can eliminate that, I thought that would be a huge part of how I can protect my resolves, right? And then also it's about getting in money, right? For those 10 weeks, I took every job I can, and I'm not picky about the job. So I do sound recording, I do producing, management of different like projects, anything. At some point of time, if I had free time, right, I was this close to be like, okay, I should go back to F&B and work. I love F&B,
Just
by
to
the
make that
way.
$15
Okay,
an hour.
that one is just for me to fill time. Like that's the mindset I had going in. So I didn't actually do that, but that was like the mindset I had going in, which is to. Unfortunately for me right now at this stage of my life, I'm still exchanging time for money, right? So I know that like when I move on my career, it will be
Yeah. There's
different.
nothing unfortunate about that. It's just a phase of life. Yes.
Yeah. Well, to me, it's because I have bigger aims when I was younger lah, and I haven't hit those aims yet. So to me, it's unfortunate.
I'm gonna
but
get
I
a lot of
guess-
dislike from that
Oh
video.
no!
Say, yeah, I got bigger aims, getting a condo at this size is nothing.
No, when okay, if you ask a child what they
Flame
want,
her,
I got a lot of hate comments already. Don't
yeah,
like that.
comments.
I
Yeah. No. But I hear you. Yes, I disturb you. But yeah. Okay. Actually, for the people that are outside of the production media space, right? Can you give us some color? Like, how much do you make from all these like sound engineering, producing? How is it? How does it really work?
It's really hard to break down because it depends on project. So in media, right, there's a huge range that you can go, right? One project can be anywhere from a few hundred to like 100K. Uh, now obviously if you sign a deal with like Cartier versus you sign a deal with your local jewelry, SME, whatever, they don't have the same budget. So it's very hard for me to give color in that aspect because there's such a huge range. But for me, how it works is there's two things. One is based projects, project management based income, where you take on the whole project and you manage it from start to end, and then you get a certain percentage of the budget. And then the other one would be the day to day, so your day rate. You work a set hours, usually about 10 hours on set or wherever, and then you get a certain rate with that.
Okay, okay. And how long did it take to then accumulate your 300,000 down payment? You
Since
know?
I was 14, do
Okay.
the math.
Okay.
Cannot do math.
Okay, okay, okay. No, because I'm trying to understand and frame the thinking, right? Because you did say that you have three different jobs. Job one, job two, job three.
Yeah.
And then you try to do different industry, right? So okay, maybe month to month, right? How would your income kind of look like? Just for this. I mean, we are a personal finance channel, so
Yes.
I have to ask, yes.
No
How
problem.
does your income kind of
And
look
I
like
love that
month to
question
month?
because I'm a freelancer and I cannot give you a straight answer. So on some month, it can be literally $1,000. And on other month, I've hit the 10K plus mark. But you just have to average it out. Because again, as somebody who doesn't make a stable income, it is really up and down. And I have to rely on different data points to find out where my averages are. So the first few years when I started as a freelancer, I don't have these data points. So my first thing was to quickly gather all these data points so that I can find out what is the average income, depends on the seasons, that kind. Yeah. So
Yeah, fair, fair. So then what gives you confidence to service a mortgage on a house?
because I have those data points, it might seem very not secure to the outside eye and my mother.
Hey mom, okay lah,
uh,
relax lah, girls fine lah,
yeah,
right?
no lah,
Yes,
she
yes.
trusts me a lot. She
Yes,
trusts me a
yes,
lot. I'm
yes.
just joking. I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
joking. So, because I have that history and I've been in this media industry for 8 years, I have some sort of history. Yeah, to kind of like back my feelings because I feel like I can do it and I have the data to back me up on it. Does that make sense? I hope so.
Kinda, right? I mean, like you know that there's seasonality into these things. There'll be peak season in certain times. So you loosely take all that data sets to come together on this lah. So if you don't mind me asking, right, you average out a year, how much will you make? From an income, or is that like a bracket type of
5 to 10K range lah.
per month lah, right? So if you average out the whole year, okay. Then that makes a bit more sense in terms of servicing a mortgage lah. It's a 600,000 mortgage is still quite,
But again,
yeah.
this amount comes from multiple.
Of course. I mean, that's the whole big part about freelancing lah and the future of a
Yes,
lot of
and
this
I
gig
invest
work.
also. So
Okay, yeah.
yeah, that
Tell me more
also.
then. You're investing. Where do you invest? How does it look like? Yeah, that whole bit.
When I first started, I did the US market. Yeah. And I
This
did
was
like
how many years
dollar.
ago?
I was 19. So how many years
So
ago
you
is that?
managed to ride the good times.
Yeah, I did. I was
Yeah,
very
yeah, yeah,
fortunate.
yeah, yeah. 10
Entered
years
at
back.
the right time. 10 years? Oh, 10
8
years
years
back?
back. 8
Yeah,
years back.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Something like
yeah.
that.
Those were good times. Okay.
So I did a lot of I explored a lot of different routes. And I can show you in my notebook later if you want. But I looked into stocks, into bonds, into like T-bills, all of that. So when T-bill in Singapore is really high, I did that a lot. I don't
But
know.
that was much later.
That was much
Yeah,
later.
it
In the
didn't.
more recent
Yeah,
year,
yeah,
like
more
the
recent
after
years.
COVID, just that
Yes,
bit.
it's only a short bit over already.
No, it was very helpful for me because I needed to stay liquid. Because I thought I was going to buy a house when I was younger, remember? So I needed to stay liquid. If I put it into the stock market, it's way too volatile for my current life goal, which is to buy a house. So I needed it more liquid. And with T-bills, it's a set 6 months, 1 year. So I know that I can take it out at a certain amount. So yeah, I might not go into like to the moon or like crazy. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that meme is so long
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
ago.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
Diamond hand. Okay, anyway.
yeah, so
Yeah.
I needed to stay liquid. Therefore, I did like T-bills and stuff later on to kind of like pad. Because again, sitting in a bank is like, to me, it's like wasting my money.
Yeah. The bank takes
Yeah,
your money to do other things anyway. Okay.
exactly.
So
So,
then for context, right? Did you liquidate your stock portfolio for
a
the
bit. Yeah,
for the
a bit, a
house?
bit. Yeah,
Okay,
I did, I
okay.
did.
So it always served the function for the house. Like. Ultimately, all the strategies and the budgeting and the investment was to get this home.
Yes, because again, this is more than a financial instrument for me. This is my emotional
Emotional.
support house. That's
Okay,
right. You get
okay.
it.
I get it. No, I get it. I get it. And I've stayed in KL for a few years, and it was my first place that I had my own space and all that. So, when people tell me this, I understand. Yeah, yeah. But I think more importantly is to hear from you, right? Like how is this how is this home your emotional support home? Like how does that look like?
It's my safety net. So, okay, first things first. I don't know why, but I have this sense of being very patriotic. So owning a stake in Singapore is so important to me. When I was young, I
You're a
didn't know
citizen,
that.
right? Yeah, don't need to convince for
No need,
PR.
no need. But when
Okay.
I was young, I
Okay.
thought that because my mom was from the military, so I thought I had to serve the NS. So when I went to secondary school and I realized I didn't have to, I'm like, oh, that's crazy. But then I realized that women have to do more unpaid domestic labor in Singapore and it's a patriarchal. Okay, moving on.
That's another podcast
That's another
altogether.
podcast.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, no, so you can see kind of my mindset around owning like a stake in Singapore just feels very safe. Yeah, in my own country and that kind of thing. And then I'll tell you a story. So when I was young, my grandma gave me a bunch of um, unprocessed rice and be like, here, girl, when there's war, you can grow this. When there's war, you can grow your own rice. First of all, she has too much confidence in my agricultural ability. I cannot even keep a houseplant alive, lah. Let's put it that way.
Put it
But
that way, if you need it, you will do it.
I mean,
When
when
the
it comes to
time
war, but
comes. Yes, yes.
you can see how that plays into my psyche,
Yep, I
and
understand.
it gives me that sense of like, because they are from the war generation, right? They kind of lived during some of my grandparents during, some is after, but in that post-war era, so they kind of translated out their insecurity or like that fear of not being stable, right? And I feel like a lot of people in my generation, understandably so, might not actually feel that way because they didn't live through those times. And that's good. That's literally what they built for, right? They built Singapore so that we can reap those benefits. But because I sit there and I listen to my grandmother and my grandfather's story, I have to admit that it did impact my psyche, and that feeling of not knowing where to go if like something happens, that's scary to me. And I want like a place that I can return home, however that looks like. So
So you were staying with your parents?
grandma. My grandma
So
raised me.
staying with your grandma didn't feel safe.
No, it did, but I also understand that she's gonna pass, which she has lah. So yeah, it feels being my grandma feels very safe, but I'm also very cognizant that I am one person in the world and I should rely on myself and not. I'm that hyper independence thing that I talked about played in again. Like don't rely on my parents, don't rely on
Yeah,
anybody
yeah,
else, the
yeah.
government. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
need
No,
I
there's no
need
right or wrong. I'm just trying to understand like your psyche
yeah, yeah.
into
And
this,
again,
right?
this is
Yeah.
my version. But I have to admit, this is not the most non-anxiety inducing option. Like if you have that ability to trust that you can, rely on your family, I say go for it. Because isn't that a beautiful thing that you can rely on the people around you?
Professional sons and daughters, right?
No, as in not just
There's a whole thing going on.
not just
Yeah, yeah.
financially though. But not just financially speaking, like if you can, like there's nothing wrong with that. And there's a beautiful community. It's just that again, just to give context on how I was brought up, very independent. This feels correct for me, but this may not be correct for you, and this may not be correct for somebody else.
Fair, fair, fair. I get it, and thanks for being candid, right? So emotional support home.
Yes, Reggie, you
I get it. Yes,
get.
yes, yes, yes. Okay, so I get it, right? Yes, this is your emotional support home, right? So after staying in this place, right? So how did it kind of like really provide the emotional
I think
support? Like how does it look like? Yes,
after getting the place
yes.
lah.
After they get in place,
Yeah. So after getting the place, the first thought is relief. Oh my god, I finally did it. Happiness didn't even kick in. It's just like, oh my god, I did it. Like it's a goal that I hit. So that's my first thing. So the happiness set in when my parents viewed that place. That is when I felt that happiness. I didn't realize I need my parents' approval that bad. Like I said, I thought I was independent. Okay, I approve myself. I'm the kind that you can talk all you want about me, but as long as I can look at myself in the mirror and be okay with who I am, I'm very happy. I didn't realize that when my mom is like, I'm proud of you, I was like,
you broke down when the online went in. Is it?
no, it was when she said, the phrase "I'm proud of you." I don't think I heard that in a very long time, or even at all. I don't remember, but I didn't realize how much I needed my parents' approval. Yeah, this is something I need to unpack with my
That is
therapist.
so powerful. Yeah. I get
Hey,
it.
thanks
I
for being
get
my
it. Yeah.
therapist.
No. That's what everyone says. Being on the show, talking. But I think it's about being vulnerable, also, right? Talking about these things. So I appreciate that. So do you feel like, because as we all everybody that kind of like built something towards a certain goal, then after you achieve that goal, you feel like it's like a miracle pill, right? It's gonna like it's gonna kind of
No,
unlock everything, right?
yes,
But where are you at this
I'm
point?
lost.
It's like
Does
getting your
anybody
result,
know
right?
what
It's
I
like
should
getting your
do?
results.
Yeah. If
Yeah.
anybody know what I should do, y'all should comment and tell me. I have to be so frank with you.
So it's so counter because it's like your whole life, or at least based on whatever you've done so far, you're kind of like angling towards this emotional support place of yours, right? And then after you get it right, then you are like lost.
Now what?
Yeah, now what?
Now what? Right? So I have to admit that that is my current life stage. I have my small goals still, like all my regular year. So every year I will do like a board on like what I want
Oh
to
my,
achieve lah.
you're one of those.
Yes, I'm one of
Yeah,
those,
one of
and it
those.
works.
Yes.
It
Okay.
was really crazy. I printed a random like photo of a condo on my like vision board.
Is
At the
that the
start,
condo that you end up?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
no joke,
No
no
joke. Oh
joke.
my
It's
god.
crazy.
You're
Uh,
one of
yes,
those.
and it works.
Okay. So
Yeah,
you stand by it. You
yeah, I
stand by
stand
it.
by it.
So then
I
what is
feel like
your
it's a feedback loop. Because when you look at it, then your brain is automatically gonna be like, I need to do it, I need to do it, I need to do it, right? And most of it is just photos of bands that I want to watch the concerts of lah. And most
I
of
know
it
it's
is
a
just
it's a big thing for you also.
yeah. So right now I'm a bit lost, but I do have my small goals to anchor me. And I have my plan for my business, which again I'm doing it at like full force. So it feels okay for day to day, but I am looking at like what's that next big thing? Because I'm also that kind of like almost adrenaline junkie where I need to chase
You are.
something.
I'm very sure.
Yeah, I need to chase something. So what am I chasing
The
next?
next condo.
The next
The
condo.
next one.
Yeah, maybe you need to get something bigger. I think my parents not already. I need to get the "I'm proud of you"
Okay,
again.
relax, relax. Okay, that's
No,
a
as in
that's a
what I mean is that
yeah.
I need to do something to hear the "I'm proud of you" again. Any ideas what I can
That one you ask your parents. They will know what they're gonna say. Yeah, but I think that's a very interesting story, right? Like how you get here and where are you going next.
I can
So
tell you what my main big goal
yeah,
is though.
sure.
It's more emotional. I have anxiety, a really bad anxiety. So my main goal is to kind of I don't want to say conquer that, but just manage it a lot better and let it.
No, I think you're quite
So that's a
conscious
shoot.
about it.
Yeah, so that's like my current goal that I'm working.
Okay. And besides the house, what other strategies then? Like you're trying to manage this anxiety of yours, if you don't mind saying.
Yeah, of course, no problem. I feel like it's a big topic nowadays,
Yeah, it is a
anyways.
very big topic.
So I'm happy
It's
to
not a Gen
share.
Z only topic. A lot of people are very anxious. Yeah.
Yeah, and I realized that a lot of middle age, like those in the midst of their career switches, people, this is when they are most anxious in
Yes,
their life.
it's true.
And like teenagers.
Everyone is anxious. Middle
Oh
age,
no.
millennials, Gen Z, teenagers. In
Oh
your paradigm, everyone's
no.
anxious. Yeah. No,
Oh
but how
no.
but how do you kind of manage this?
I have a therapist, which is like helped a lot and gave me a lot of life skills. So she teach me very useful, practical day-to-day skills like grounding exercises. Reading doesn't work for me. So it might work for you, but it doesn't work for me. And other things. But for me, I think it's just being conscious of it that is the most helpful at this point.
Fair. And from I heard from my producer, you are actually not the stereotypical prudence kind of person, right?
What do you mean?
Because a lot of the fire stories, or like, I mean, in our corner of the internet, right? Some people say it's not very inspiring because everybody very prudent. It's like save money, don't spend that whole
Ah,
bit. So there's that whole,
I understand what you're
that
trying to say.
whole shenanigan, right? But from what I understand, that you're actually quite a concert junkie. You go to different places. You
Not
just
me
now,
buying a concert
just
ticket
now,
on the way
on the way
here
here, she was buying a concert
to
ticket. Yeah.
Thailand.
So tell me more, right? Like on this, like have fun. Still gotta achieve financial stability of some sort, which is an extension of trying to manage your anxiety
I guess
in
so.
some ways, right? So the whole thing kind of lines up. But how do you kind of like look at this thing of like having fun and also, still now servicing a mortgage, not like you have a choice, you have to pay, right? So so
Don't pay
like
for
yeah,
me.
no. So yeah. How do you look at this whole money, having fun and prudence, that whole bit? Yeah.
I think
She wants to say, actually, I'm very prudent. I go one concert a month only.
you know what? I have to say though, I skipped on at least 5 concerts that I want to go. Help!
Yeah.
Anybody got concert ticket want to pass me? One okay,
Sure have one, sure. The media guys will look for you. But yeah. Tell me a bit more. How
Okay.
do you look at this whole pursuing personal finance, getting your house and everything, and still kind of enjoying that life? And I mean, you're still very young, you're 20s, right? So, when we were 20s, we were all over the place. Who buys a house? And like all that. So just trying to understand, like, how do you see you and your way of having fun and the way you spend and all that? Yeah.
It's a great question because it took me a long time to reach the have fun stage. Yeah, so I was that prudent kid that don't spend on anything, and all my money I earn goes to school because to me education is also a form of investment. Um, it's true. I paid for my own like whatever school stuff that I need. I paid for it. Yeah, because I've been working since I was 14 at McDonald's. 4.50 an hour, by the way.
Last time it's 250 an
Hey,
hour.
hello,
Okay,
when
okay,
I
okay, okay.
4.50.
Okay. This is not a competition. Okay.
Yeah.
But tell me,
Yeah, so I used to be
yeah,
that prudent kid.
yes,
And then I
yes.
realized as the frontal lobe starts developing, I'm like, oh, wait, that's not the point of life. Because why am I money to spend money is also an important skill because it's a skill that I didn't have. I've always been like, save. Don't buy the onigiri. Don't buy the sticker. You don't need the sticker. Oh, you don't need. So for 10 years, and if you know me before my content era, I wore a Batman shirt every day. It's like a uniform. Okay, wait.
Yeah.
This is a very bad example.
Your Batman shirt
Okay,
is inside.
okay, wait. I forgot to wear something else today.
Okay. Yes, Batman shirt. Yeah, it's fine.
So I didn't spend a single cent on apparels or like whatever. So that was the old me, if you will. And so now I have a huge budget. Like a lot of what I spend on is gifts for people because there's no point saving if you can't bring it to you.
So was this before condo or
Before
after condo?
condo.
Before condo,
Before
you
condo.
already had.
When my grandma passed that area, that when I started reflecting a bit more, I'm like, wait, that's not the point. Like when I'm young, I wanna enjoy, having that healthy body, which is health is most important. Go and travel, see the world. And I know I'm in a very privileged place to say that, especially with the state of the world, right? I completely understand that. But to me, I want to also utilize that privilege for myself and also for my community, right? And spend it that way. And if you just hog everything, then what is the difference between me and that billionaire that is unethical, right? I need to also kind of learn how to spend money. It's really a skill because it's that fear in your head, that you cannot spend
I know.
anything.
Trust me, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm more curious. How was that learning process like for you?
it starts
Like
small.
yeah, if you can give me a bit of that color of like, because I think I go through a similar thing, right? So I understand like when you were very broke for a long time, very anxious, and when you spend money, it's a pain more than a joy. You know, it's like wow, and it's a bit hard to account for the experience, but people that have been through, I think they all kind of get it. So more importantly, is like, like how did that kind of recovery lah? Because I also think that's very unhealthy,
Yeah, it
right?
is.
Like,
It
so how
is.
is that kind of process? Give me a bit of color of like what did you do? Because I had literally had a friend that was like my accountability friend that, made me go watch a movie every week.
Oh,
Like that.
so
Like
sweet.
it was a very lame little thing,
Oh, I love that.
but
Wait, so tell me
but
more. I want to
yeah,
know. So
yeah,
so
yeah.
how did that work?
So that's it, right? It was like, hey, let's just do this one movie every week.
Wow, that's
And
so
yeah, to a
interesting.
point where I don't know what movie to watch. But it was not about the movie.
Yes.
It was about spending and kind of like experiencing that full process of spending the money and then trying to develop some sort of a joy in that process rather than that fear lah. So I kind of understand a little bit of that. But is that a similar? How did it look like for you?
You nailed it. That's how I felt. As well. It did spending money didn't feel like a joy. It felt like a painful process because like you said, like it's like the whole thing about not being able to spend for a long time. It almost became no, it became a habit, right? That you needed to unlearn. I think the first it's not unreasonable, but in my head, it was like an unnecessary purchase. Was actually a flower for my grandma when she passed. Because in my head, buying flowers is useless. Because it's just like something that will die. Although I do enjoy watching flowers die, I have said the other part. So I think it started small. And of course, I didn't just throw myself into the deep end and be like, okay, let's go crazy shopping. I allowed myself bigger budgets because, again, how I view my life and is through tracking. So instead of just putting like a small budget for entertainment, I increased that budget for entertainment, right? And see what else I can, rejig, well. So that's how I did it. Like I just tried to make things that already made sense in my head work for me. Like if because tracking works for me, so I did it that route.
You have to work very hard to spend the money, right?
Actually, once you buy concert ticket, it's not
Yeah,
very
yeah.
hard,
Okay, okay.
man.
So concert ticket is the problem, lah. Okay, okay, okay.
Now I have a problem.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, I get it. Okay, great. So maybe after going through all that healing bit, right, and getting to where you are, like, would you still do the same? Like working very hard, save the money. So that was back then, right? Back then, from where you were, that was like your whole thing, right? I'm gonna build towards getting my own space and this condo and that whole bit, right? But after going through all that healing and having where you are today, will you still do that whole, work hard, chiong, save up, get a condo? Will you still do
Yeah,
that?
1000%. I think it's my personality. It's really my personality at that point. And I don't regret.
Fair, fair. Great. So maybe in closing, right, for some of the fellow, younger Singapore, not that young already, lah. Zillennials are not young. Wake up, you already got a job, okay? You know,
No.
you're adulting already. Start acting like a kid. Okay, anyway. But yeah. So for your fellow, Zillennials, and maybe even for some of the millennials around, right? Like, what are some of your like money wisdom, that after going through all that, right, and testing all these things, what would you share with them? It's not an advice, but it's more like a few like things you
Like
think,
practical
yeah,
things, you
practical
would say?
things and yeah, that people should do.
If you're talking about practical things, I think you need to first know what you're up against, which is yourself, right? You need to know like your own financial situation. I think a lot of um I would say issue with like my friends around my age is that they don't actually know what's happening financially. They are just kind of seeing what's in the bank and how much you can spend, which is also if you're happy living that way, by all means. I'm just assuming that you're saying that somebody who wants to get a handle on that, right? I think the first thing is to appraise yourself. Be very, very honest with yourself. What is your actual situation? Not who you want to be. Like who are you right now? Like financially. So that's the first thing I would do. I'm the insane type that tracks everything. That might not work for you. And if it doesn't work for you, then don't do it. Because if you do things that you know it's not gonna work, then you're setting yourself up for failure. And when you fail like that, it becomes a loop. You rather build that small successes in to kind of entice your brain to wanting to do it more. So I heard some other people who have two different bank accounts. They just transfer this amount to this account and you can spend all you want there.
I had four.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
wow.
yeah. It's all these are strategies,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Find something that works for you because tracking works for me, but I'm very, very cognizant that it might not work
And you're still
for
tracking
yes.
at that level.
Yes.
Okay.
It's like to me like a game.
Okay, fair, fair, fair. No, because although I sound like I'm shitting on tracking, right? But I used to track at that detail also.
Yeah,
But
I
I
love it.
I
It brings me
think
so much joy.
yeah, I know at that point in time. After a while when your life gets too messy, right? There's no joy in doing all
I've been doing
the
this since I was a
Okay.
child.
Anyway. So I think but I do echo that. I think it's important to have a handle on what actually is happening.
Where your
Right?
ins and
Yeah,
outs.
and then you can try to manage that bit. Then eventually you get into a different spending pattern, you get into a different way of life and all that. Then this really becomes marginal. There's no real need to spend too much effort on it
Yeah, make it like
anymore.
autopilot
Yeah.
mode. Like to me, I don't actively use like a lot of my time and energy on this. This is autopilot. It's a game to me. Like I gamified it. It brings me joy. So if you can find a way to like gamify or bring it joy, bring yourself joy, then you should do that.
Marie Kondo, huh? Okay, anyway,
Maybe
you don't know Marie Kondo, right? It's
I
a,
do.
it's the older generation.
My mom told me
So,
about her.
okay. Any last things?
I guess the one main thing is to build that safety net for yourself, however that might look like. It for me again is the condo, my emotional
Say it,
support.
support.
Yes, correct. For you might just be emergency funds or it might be anything. So once you build that safety net for
I
yourself,
love how for the others it's an emergency
no,
fund.
no, because
It's
what
like,
I
oh
meant.
yeah, 10,000 is
Oh
fine.
no! Oh my
I need a whole condo
god!
to build my
I'm
emotional.
using your
It's the-
question. Your context of your question was
I'm digging
others
a hole for
who
you. Is it?
you are digging a hole for me. That was the
okay.
context of your
Okay. Lie.
question. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm just
please
using
continue.
your context.
Okay, please continue.
Reggie,
Yes. No, I
please.
never, don't cancel me. Yes. Please continue. Yeah.
Yeah, is to build that safety net for yourself, however that might look like. It might not even be financial. It might be something else, right? For me, it's also about again building that tool set to manage my own like mental health, right? Once you build that safety net, just lead. Do that crazy thing, whatever, and then you trust yourself that you can catch yourself. Fall. You might fall, you likely will fall, and then you build that safety net, let it catch
That's
you.
the whole idea of a safety net, right?
Yeah.
When you
So
fall, it's there.
build it for yourself. Once you're done building it, just do that crazy thing. Make your goals, meet your goals, do whatever.
Thank you.
Problem.
I
Thanks for
love that.
having
Yeah, I
me.
love that.
You're so fun to talk
Of
to.
course, I'm a professional. Okay,
Ah,
I do this for living, right? I
yeah,
guess.
no, I
No,
guess.
but I love the story, and I wasn't expecting to go to all these little nooks and crannies, or but I think it's great. It provides so much more texture to why you do what you do, and a little bit into the strategy and the thinking and the whole development. I think that is a much more profound podcast than I just bought a condo. It's like
It's very
okay,
surface level
yeah, it's very surface,
lah.
and everybody was just repeating that. So I'm very glad that we got you on the show, and for being so candid and vulnerable.
And this will be my
Appreciate it.
therapist.
Yeah, yes, no. Yeah, later invoice her.
Ah,
Yeah. So, but if our
cute.
audience would like to connect with you, where is the best place to?
On Instagram, I'm at Chrissy Crossy. On TikTok, I'm at Chrissy.Crossy.
Okay, so equally active, so they can reach out wherever they are.
IG.
Okay, IG is better. Okay, IG. Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you love what we do, you want to stay connected, head to thefinancialcoconut.com to put your email address so that we can route out the algorithm when we need to reach you directly for an event, for some things about organizing and all that good stuff. With that, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. We'll see you next week on another episode of Choose with TFC. Meanwhile, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.